What's going on, everybody? I'm Wayne and this is Wayne's Fish World. This is going to be a really traditional video of me just sitting back talking about a subject, and sometimes those are the best videos. So the topic of this video is buying responsibly. I got the idea of this video through a combination of two people. I tuned in to John's KG Tropicals live chat on Thursdays, and I joined in and I said, "Hey John, what do you think about the arowana in the turtle tank at the local Petco near you? Do you think Petco should be offering fish like that to the public?" And we went in the chat, and John basically said, the 180 people in this chat that are hardcore fish nerds, they're going to properly care for the fish. But more likely, the public is not really going to care for that fish because 9 times out of 10, the average fish buyer is not dedicated. So I went to the local fish store and I got talking to Gavin. You guys seen him in the last video of the unboxing the Aquatop canister filter. And I said, what do you think about this topic? Do you think, the pet store should be held accountable for selling this fish, or is it the purchaser's own fault, or is it a combination? Now, Gavin made a really good point. I'm going to put it exactly like he said it. The Chevrolet dealership up the road might sell a Corvette, but when you drive 100 miles down the interstate and you crash it into a tree, you can't go back and fuss at the Chevrolet dealership because of your own stupidity. And when you relate that to the fish hobby or pet keeping, however you want to classify it, it's the same exact concept. No one wants to be held accountable for their own actions, and maybe that's just the world we live in today. I'm not trying to talk political, but we live in a society, especially here in America, where, and I love my country, but we live in a society where everything is me, and now, and I don't want to take responsibility, so someone else fix it while you get what I'm saying. But I think it's a combination of both, and I want you guys to leave your thoughts and comments in the section below because this is a very controversial topic. A lot of people will say, it's the job of the local fish stores to inform the customer. I absolutely agree with that. Gavin with KG Tropicals, Gavin with Gordon's Pet Store, Driftwood Aquatics. When they have a customer that's looking for an oddball fish, a large fish, a semi-aggressive, aggressive fish, they're always going to ask questions to probe the customer to see if this fish is best suited for that aquarium. For example, if it's saltwater, if someone's looking at a yellow Hawaiian tang, they're going to say, what size aquarium do you have? Oh, I've got a 29 gallon. Well, guess what? The 29 gallon isn't going to cut it. You need at least a 4-foot long tank to properly house this fish. And for freshwater, people looking at Oscars, they're going to say, hey, this is an aggressive fish. It's cute and small right now, but this fish is going to grow up, and it's going to grow up extremely fast. So I really believe that it starts off at the local fish store. They should ask probing questions, and luckily mine does. But in the end, if you go out and buy an arowana after someone's warned you and you just don't care, or you say you're going to upgrade later to a bigger tank, then that's your fault, and you can't really blame the local fish store for having them sell you a fish. This scenario happens a lot to Gavin, and it really pisses me off too because Gavin's given his time, his effort, and his knowledge for free to his customers, and then they turn around and go buy it at PetSmart or Petco or online. Yes, it's cheaper, but you're not getting that customer service. You just took that customer service he gave you for free, and you're stabbing him in the back and purchasing it at another supplier. That's really not the right way to do it. And the same thing applies to fish. If Gavin tells somebody that this fish is not really suitable for this size aquarium, or you've got these fish, you shouldn't have silver dollars in a planted aquarium, or that harlequin tusk might not be a good addition in a reef tank, that same person might go to another fish store or pet store and purchase the fish elsewhere and come up with some bullshit excuse. Now, I know it sounds crazy because, in your right mind, who would think about doing such a thing like that? But it happens on more than a daily basis. When I did my top 13 fish to have not to have in an aquarium, a lot of people are saying, you know, no one puts Oscars in 10 gallons. And I was so glad to see people backing me up. You know, people that work in fish stores or own fish stores were in the comments saying, you don't know how much on a daily basis I have to tell people not to put Oscars in a 10 gallon or not to do this or this. And, you know, it's unreal. We tend to forget that we have a large community. You know, it's a smaller community on YouTube, but we have a large community on YouTube. But when you take our community and compare it to the overall group of people purchasing fish, we are very small. 9 times out of 10, someone buying a fish is their first fish, or they expect it to live for 2 weeks, or they're still getting their feet wet. They're not the people that are passionate. So that's pretty much all I've got to say. I figured I'd let you guys see the goldfish tank. I'm going to be going into more videos in the future on how I set this up, why I chose to set it up like this, and you know what plants I have in this aquarium. I'm actually putting some Crip Blue Tea in here right now. I introduced some more Crip Unilata and Crip Red. So far, this is just a Crip tank, and I think it's going to stay that way. I like it. I like my low tech. I like the simplicity of this tank. I like the open space. I like the leaves of the plants and the roots pulling up all that nutrients. The tank is doing very well. I think I'm going to put a few more goldfish in here, but nothing serious. If they ever get too big, I'm definitely going to put them in a pond, but that's for another video. But once again, guys, what do you think? Do you think it's the responsibility of the local fish store to inform the people, or do you think it's the responsibility of the purchaser for making that action? Personally, I think it's a combination of both. You know, if you have someone coming in to get an Arapaima, which really shouldn't be, you know, John was using this scenario, Arapaima shouldn't be in the aquarium hobby in my opinion either, but if someone's purchasing an Arapaima, you're going to have to ask them fundamental questions. Do you have X amount of gallons, or do you have a pond, or do you have a DIY aquarium, or something along those lines? And if you sell that fish without even asking those questions, then yes, you're crooked. All you're worried about is $1. At the same time, on the other end of the spectrum, it is also the person who is purchasing it responsible. Just like, you know, if you don't have a cycled aquarium, why the hell would you put fish in it? Because you know they're going to go through shock and they might die. Other than that, guys, I'll see you next time. I hope you like this traditional video. Comment, rate, and subscribe. Later.